One of the fastest growing counties in the country is about to get even bigger. Two new developments got the green light tonight from the Brunswick County Planning Board. Neighbors had a chance to share their thoughts before the board made any decisions. WECT's Ariana Bertolotti attended the meeting. Ariana, two developments got approved that will bring over 1,000 new homes.
Yeah, that's right, Fran. The two new developments combined will provide, like you said, over 1,000 homes to Brunswick County. One development is called Cherry Tree, and it's located near Winnabow along Cherry Tree Lane, or Road Northeast, excuse me. The developers for that project will build 1,000 new homes. There's also Mirasol near St. James along South Fort Supply Road. It will provide 340 new homes. Now, this all sounds progressive, and some neighbors are adamantly opposed.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion that we approve this as presented.
A packed meeting in Brunswick County to discuss new development.
Can you please stand and here to oppose the redevelopment in Brunswick County?
And some residents not happy with the plans, like Christy Merrick, who is concerned about her children.
It's just the future of our children. A lot of this land used to be farmland. It's not anymore. Where are my kids going to farm? You know, they obviously don't want to farm next to 3,000 homes.
Merrick spoke at Monday's meeting to share her frustrations. She says the county is not prepared to meet the demand.
Our infrastructure isn't strong enough. Our schools are getting at capacity.
The frustration spilled outside of the meeting room. During a recess, Planning Board member Jason Gaver was seen in a heated exchange with other residents about the meeting.
If you don't like it, you do what you do. You show up, you write letters, and you vote differently.
Developers are hoping to start building soon, but there could be some delays. A 2023 state law is effectively placing a moratorium on construction projects requiring new sewer lines. Extensions in Brunswick County by requiring the state to count expected wastewater from future homes as if it's already in the system. And neighbors frustrated with the plan say it's just too much.
It's the wetlands, it's the infrastructure, it's the roads, it's the quality of life here in Brunswick County.
Two other developments were up for approval tonight. The Green Hill development for over 1,300 homes was continued, and the plans for Canopy will build 3,700 residences were unanimously approved. Fran?
So, Ariana, you mentioned that moratorium that went into effect just last week. How does that impact these projects?
So in the conditions approved by the board tonight, it states approval does not promise there will be enough water or sewer service for it. Basically, developers are building at their own risk. Future water and sewer connections depend on separate permits and available capacity, which can change over time.
All right, Ariana, thanks so much.